In this video, I, the holiest of grails, let's just get into it.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hello, YouTube. Axiom Man here once again. And I finally own my copy of X-Men 1. This is the holiest of holy grails in my collection. I'm a big X-Men fan, more than Fantastic Four, more than any other title, whether it be Marvel or DC. A huge X-Men fan. I love the X-Men, what it means to be, and I'll talk about that here in the video. But yes, I finally own my copy of X-Men #1. It's a 1.8. I will go over the steps that I took. It'll be brief, but I did want to cover, how I came about it, why I came about it, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just get into it. So I went to San Diego Comic-Con and we got there on a Wednesday, but we didn't have badges for Wednesday preview night. For those unfamiliar, Comic-Con goes technically from Wednesday night through Sunday of that weekend. But the only way that you're going to get Wednesday night, which we call preview night, or we don't call it, it's called, is if you get the all-day badge with the preview night. Anyway, we got badges for Thursday and Friday. So our first day at San Diego Comic-Con Thursday, my goal was to get to the comic book section. San Diego Comic-Con is huge, ladies and gents. It is humongous. The San Diego Convention Center, and with everything going on around it, is massive. I will be dropping a video about my San Diego Comic-Con experience here very soon after this. I'm piecing it together, but I'm here to talk about this book. So if you're looking at the convention floor, comic books have been kind of shoved all the way to the right of the convention. I don't know why. They just have. But they're over there on that side. So I slowly made my way to the right, or however, I get discombobulated with the south, east, north, that way. So I went that way if I'm staring at the convention center from the front, and finally got to the place where they have all the comics, and I was looking for a very low grade copy of X-Men 1. The only thing that I could find were copies 3.0 or higher, which were way outside of my price range. The lowest 3.0 cost point that I found was 7,500, way out of my league. So I was like, okay, well, I did come here specifically to try to find finally San Diego Comic-Con 2025 was going to be my year where I found my copy, but I needed it to be a very low grade one. I was already about to give up, and then I came across Silver Age comics that are based off of Astoria, New York. Let me go ahead and do a little bit close up there. Finally came across this booth that had this copy and looked at the price tag and was maybe a little like, My budget was $4,000. That's a lot of money. Might not be a lot of money to some collectors. It is to this guy. I own a lot of stuff, and you guys see a lot. My collection is big, but a lot of it has to do with timing and pacing and saving and things like that. So a book like this is well out of my price range, even with the collection that I have amassed. But this is definitely out of my price range. But I did have that in my budget this year to go look specifically for this book. Here was the sticker that was on the book. So this is what the sticker said right there. So 1.8 at 4,150. I figured, okay, maybe I can negotiate a lower price. So I went to go take out the money. With going to take out the money came a new San Diego Comic-Con feature unlocked for me and the group of guys, family, friends that I usually go with. We had to go to a Navy Federal Bank and take out, which was in Coronado Island. If you guys don't know what Coronado Island is, if you've seen the movie Anchorman, Ron Burgundy, there's a part where he's on a big bridge. He knocks Jack Black off of his motorcycle with the with the burrito, and then Jack Black grabs his dog Baxter and kicks him off the bridge. That bridge is the Coronado Island Bridge that connects to the island. So We ended up going over there. We found this really cool little spot, and we took a ferry across. That'll actually come out in the San Diego Comic-Con experience video. Just wanted to throw that out there because we found it. We found this nice little cocoon of an awesome place there, and it was a result of having to go take out the money at the bank. Now I didn't have that much. I just had what my budget was, so it was already over by 150 bucks. But I came back to the con. When I got back to the con, went straight up to the booth. Something funny happened on the way because we were in a hurry to get back to the booth. They had told us, and it wasn't like a strong arm move or anything. They assured us. It's just that they said like a lot of these books are going to go on live claim sale, which is that is believable only because they do these all the time, especially at San Diego Comic-Con. And they said we're not saying it's going to sell, but they will be going on a live sale kind of claim thing, starting at 6 p.m. and it was like around 4 p.m. at the time. So we're kind of not rushing, but we're making our way over there in a little bit of a hurry to make sure that the book was still there. For all I knew, so another buyer might have already gotten it. I don't know, right? But I go, and I was so excited. But I was with my buddy Marvel Mike, who I interviewed in one of my other videos about collecting comics, and he had a little bit of a hiccup. He tripped over a railing thing. Sorry, Marvel. I just had to throw that in here. I won't go into the details of how embarrassing that was. But yeah, that was hilarious. So we get to the booth. I, of course, asked the guy, because I didn't even have the 4. I had the 39. I had 39. And I was like, what's the best price you can give me? Sometimes you just have to ask because maybe they're willing to negotiate with you. Maybe they're willing to let it go for a lower price. I did the big soft puppy eyes, sad puppy eyes, the from Shrek the cat, right? Did the sad cat eyes. And he did say that he'd be willing to give it to me for 39, which is exactly what I had in my envelope. My wad of cash a la Goodfellas style. The movie Goodfellas, I felt like a gangster, big wad of cash. And it was like the heavens open up, the gods and the fates were all on Axiomant's side, and it's exactly what I had in the envelope. Some people might hesitate to hand that much money over, but I was like, take it, give me my book. I was choking up, and I wish I had gotten a video of it. It's just that the moment was too surreal and too kind of raw in the moment, and I didn't capture it, but that's okay because I captured this. I have this. And on that note, when it comes to saving, when it comes to just something that you really want that is maybe out of your price range, of course, the simple thing is saving, right? You have to save. And I understand life happens, right? Your car breaks down, you need to go to the doctor, your kid gets sick, whatever the case is, we understand that life happens like that, which is why I never thought this would ever be in my price range. I mean, side story, my Giant Size X-Men number 1.0, I know I can afford a better grade. I would never trade that book in. Let me tell you guys why. When I turned 40, I couldn't have any party and nothing. I couldn't do anything because of COVID. So, and I wanted, it's a milestone birthday party, or birthday, I should say birthday party. It's a milestone birthday, right? It's one of the, 30, 40, 50. So in my 40, I couldn't do anything. Long story short, I said, maybe I should buy my first expensive comic. So of course I'm going to go X-Men. I'm not going to go Daredevil or Batman. I'm going to go X-Men. I've always wanted to own. I can't own an X-Men 1, so I'm going to go for the next best thing. And it's Giant Size X-Men number 1. First appearance of Storm, Thunderbolt, Nightcrawler, Colossus, first appearance of Wolverine in the X-Men series. Grab that book. It was a low-grade copy. I had it personally graded. I submitted it to CGC, got the 1.0. It's a low grade, but I would never trade that in. Besides, it looks great. The cover looks good, in my opinion. So I will never trade that in for a better copy because that's my copy. That's my 40th birthday present to myself. And now I have the matching book to go with it. I'm I'm finding it difficult to sometimes tell the story here. I kind of want that to come across in the video, which is why I don't want to edit it. But back to my original point, life does happen, but sometimes you do have to put those funds aside to something that you just really want. And it has nothing to do with being irresponsible or being, well, this money could be put to better use. Of course, you could always be more responsible. You could always use the money for better use. But sometimes these things go above and beyond that, right? And I'm going to get to the reason why this goes above and beyond, because it does as it pertains to me and what these characters, what this book and the book title, The X-Men, what it means to me. Before I go on, I do want to give a big shout out to Silver Age Comics. I just dropped the card. Hiccup. These guys were awesome. Before I actually talk about what the book means to me, I just want to shout these guys out before anything else, because they were so incredible at the booth. I actually got to meet the Golden Age Guru. I'll put a link to his channel in the description so you guys can check him out. He's awesome. He's the nicest guy. I got a picture with him. Maybe I'll put it here. But yeah, so cool. His booth was next to these guys. I thought they were part of the same, but I don't think they were. But yeah, awesome. Just thank you guys so much. Thank you, Silver Age Comics. Really. Why does this book mean so much to me, right? That much money for a comic book. This book was written in 1963. Stan Lee, Jack King Kirby. A lot of the themes, a lot of the tones, and a lot of the messaging in this book is so relevant today. The more things change, the more they stay the same, is the saying as it goes. When you think about, some of the words that get thrown around so freely now, and which kind of start taking the meaning away from them, like bigotry and hatred and all those things. Well, the X-Men were going through these things back in 1963, and it was written during the American Civil Rights movements, right? Whether it was people of color, it was gay rights, whatever it was, these characters were almost influenced, not almost, they were influenced. There's a lot of videos out there that cover this, but they were influenced by their times. Mutants were there's a word for it that I can't come up with right now, but they were an allegory. There you go. They're an allegory for the times. Mutants were born with the mutant X gene, unlike your Spider-Mans and your Hulks and your Fantastic Fours, cosmic radiation, an accident with gamma rays, radioactive spider bite. No, they were born with the mutant X gene. I often get asked, like, hey, Axie-Man, why are the mutants always hated, but nobody hates Spider-Man? Nobody hates, to a certain extent, right? Everybody loves the Fantastic Four, and everybody loves this and that, the Avengers. It's easy. It's because of what I just said. When you're born with the mutant X gene, it's almost like it's not fair that you were born with this power. More importantly, to this point, is that it's always what Magneto says, right? The regular human is Homo sapiens, and the X-Men, or mutants, as Magneto puts it, are considered Homo superior. So it's the next step in human evolution, as you've probably seen in the movies, quoted. It happens all the time in the comic books. So what happens to the inferior species when the new mutated, better species? Well, extinction, right? This is why humans hate mutants and why they're always in fear of them. Not to mention that you don't know the level of their power, because it can be just omega level, like Storm, like Magneto, and Iceman. So yeah, I understand humanity's fear, but I also understand why mutants just can't stand, a part of humanity. And therein lies the conflict between Magneto and his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and Professor X's X-Men. The X-Men, despite the hatred, despite wanting to do the right thing and helping humanity from these bad mutants that just want to harm humanity, and sometimes with good reason. retaliation and all the things that humanity and all the bigotry and hatred that they toss at them. So it's almost like they're justified, and yet the X-Men are still always trying to do the right thing. They're trying to take the higher road and help them out. And there's such conflict between that. If you don't find these themes relevant to what's happening right now, then then maybe you're not aware of your surroundings. And this isn't just in today's day. I mean, this is carried on. I mean, this is human nature at its finest and at its worst. Whatever line you're on, whatever side you're on, I don't really care. And the X-Men, the whole point is that the stories cover this, and what it is to be human, what it is to be a mutant, what it is to just have all that hate and let it destroy you, and what it is to have love for your fellow humans or mutants and then still get beaten down. And it's tragic and it's awesome and it's amazing. And I could go on, ladies and gentlemen. The themes, I love these stories. I love my X-Men. And on a very final note, as it pertains to these, this has a special connection to me because I grew up with two cousins who are like brothers to me. One of them is still with us. The other one, his name is Martin, aka Chano. Rest in peace. We were the only two that ever joined the military together. I was in the Army. He was a Marine. Um, it just They were with my brother and their little brother. We were our own X-Men. We grew up like being kind of outcasts, and we were okay with that. We were the mutants, the X-Men of our little group, amongst other cousins that also joined us at times. But we were it. We were so tight knit that that's what it felt like. It felt like it doesn't matter that we're the mutants of our high school or junior high or our own family. It doesn't matter, because as long as we're together, we're good. I get a little choked up when I talk about my cousin, but that just has a special connection to me, truly. All right, collect myself. Emotions, sometimes high. But for that and many other reasons is why I say things like collect what you love, ladies and gents, Axiom Comics viewers. Truly collect what you love, connect with your childhood. These stories, these characters, I mean, they're more than just, funny paper, silly books. Uh, they connect with us on such deep levels. Sometimes you don't even know how deep until you explore that. And if you think that they're just silly books, even at this point, even while watching my channel, while watching X-Men Comics on YouTube, well, let me just paint a different picture. If they were just silly books, then why did they revolutionize Hollywood films? Why are they a multi-billion-dollar companies? And why is the revenue? Why is San Diego Comic Con so huge? There is a multitude of us, and for all I know, every single one of us are mutants, and I'm more than happy for all you guys to be part of the X-Men, the mutants, the Axiom Man Comics channel. So I wanted to include a video of where the book will be displayed. This is where I will be showcasing the book, right next to my giant size X-Men #1 that I spoke about in the video. Let's do a close-up here. This is the origin and first appearance of the X-Men: Professor X, Cyclops, Iceman, Angel, Beast, Marvel Girl, and of course, Magneto. They're all on the cover, all except Mr. Professor X, Charles Xavier. But that cover is as iconic as any other. Let me go ahead and pan out and just capture some of my X-Men wall here. These are not all my X-Men comics. These are some of the coolest covers that I just happened to pick out for this wall. All key issues, of course. And I might as well just capture the rest of the wall here. But X-Men #1, first appearance of the X-Men, has now found its home at Axiomat Comics. But that's it for this video. If you like my content, please like this video, subscribe. I always forget to tell people to do these things. I was called out by my brothers and my cousins and my friends about this. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, all that stuff. Please subscribe to my channel. And more importantly than anything else, thank you so much for watching. As I always sign off, collect what you love what you collect, and we'll see you in the next one.